Joining us this afternoon, Constitutional Law Senior Professor at the UP College of Law, Attorney John Molo. Welcome to StoryCon, Attorney.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Attorney.
Um, you wrote an article recently saying that now that with Senator De La Rosa has escaped, the senators that helped him could also be liable to be given warrants of arrest. Could you talk us through that thinking?
Oh, yeah. So the article was about essentially how all of this that happened was really unnecessary and with respect to it, a self-inflicted injury. So we have heard from many experts, far more seasoned than me. There was no such thing as protective custody to begin with, and yet they decided to extend it to their colleague. And what is that they were willing to extend custody and concomitantly responsibility over the person that is now subject of arrest warrant. Now that he's gone, then it is rightful to ask for those in charge of enforcing the warrant, where is he? And there's only one person who can answer, or one institution who can answer that question right now. That would be the Senate.
You mean to say legally there's no such thing as protective custody naman talaga?
No,
Legally.
that was never of dispute, actually. That's one of the things that was really confounding about the entire episode, that they extended protective custody is what you do for witnesses. Senator De La Rosa is not a witness. He's actually the subject of an arrest warrant. So if in the parlance of, for example, people in DOJ, they extend protective custody to their witnesses. So the Senate extending protective custody to a colleague, that's new. That's surprising.
Attorney, given. Pero pumayag yung mga law enforcers. Tawag nila gentleman's agreement. Tapos binanggit pa nila na may utos ang presidente na hindi siya huhulihin dun sa 72 hours. So yan ang ginagamit na argument naman nitong mga senador, especially Alan Peter, na nagbigay ng protective custody. Ikalawa, ang argument nila, wala pa namang sagot sa TRO eh. So nung tumakas siya, ay hindi pa siya fugitive. No? So, hindi ba liable din dyan yung law enforcers? Ba't sila pumayag?
Hindi lang law enforcers,
Precisely.
policymakers and the executive.
Yes.
Tama po kayo dyan, precisely. Kasi what you describe, yung gentleman's agreement, that's politics. Right? Politics does not change the effect of the law. Iba yung usapang politika sa kung ano yung liabilities mo under the law. So, kung pulis
Pero
ka...
actually, attorney, ang nagsabi dyan si President Marcos.
Opo. Opo, that's the
He talked about it at 11 in the evening. Sinabi
11 in the evening, which is a different...
Inutusan ko yung NBI eh.
Yeah,
Sabi
he
niya,
was talking
inutusan
about the
niya NBI at 4 in
NBI.
the afternoon.
Yes.
At 4 in the afternoon, inutusan niya. Paglabas daw nung na walang order ng Supreme Court, na yung merong order pero hindi TRO, inutusan na niya NBI, wag niyong arestuhin.
Yeah.
Paano yun? That's the commander-in-chief, that's the President of the Republic.
At that point, when the president actually spoke to do that, then you can use that as a defense. But then again, if we go back to the law, the obligation was there already in the law. Now, for the people who refused to implement the law at the time that they were obligated to, maybe they can use the president's statement as their defense in trial. But the obligation remains, di ba? Parang at the same time, yung sinasabi nila na wala pang TRO daw, so wala pang desisyon sa TRO. Yeah, but just by filing a petition, I mean sa aming mga abogado, just by filing a petition, you're not entitled to relief.
Yeah, yeah.
Ang masusunod pa rin yung batas,
Yeah.
di ba?
Pero Prof, I think what you're trying to drive at here is this. Of course, on one hand, baka may liabilities or obligations or accountabilities yung mga kumupkop kay Bato doon sa Senado. But on the other hand, mukhang may accountability din yung mga those who figured that let's put aside first the enforcement of the law and look first at the political practicalities of the circumstances of that night. Of course, talking about the executive, the law enforcement, and so on down the line. So parang pare-pareho sila may obligasyon at accountability.
Yeah, that's why I pointed out in my article that, I worked for several senators before when I was a younger lawyer. I mean, I've been exposed to this arena before. That's why what I pointed out in my article was that perhaps there should have been better legal guidance for the other senators when these options were presented to them. Yung complete staff work, napaka-importante yan, especially kung merong legal implications yung hinihingi sa inyo. So, yun yung punto ko dun sa article, yung punto de vista ba na na-weigh ba talaga yung legal risks ng bawat isang principal dito? Kasi delikado tong pinasok ninyo. Not just domestically, but internationally.
Although, attorney, baka kasi at this point already, I mean, so many years down the line since the interpretation of the law had become so muddled, baka the legal implications is not as important anymore to some people as against the practical considerations.
Dahil attorney,
Yeah,
kahit
that's
ang
true.
Supreme
That's
Court
true. I
kasi,
mean, especially after the last 6 years where a lot of people got away with impunity, di ba? That's why it's very important today that we go back to what the law actually says, not what we got used to over the past 6 years of doing. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
pero di ba, attorney, the ones who interpret the law with finality is the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the Supreme Court, as we have seen these past years, has been very imperfect itself. No? So, saan mahahanap ng succor yung mga katulad nyo
Wow.
na sinasabi na respect the law when even the leading members of our judiciary parang masyadong maraming gray area.
Well, sa akin kasi, I mean, over the past 6 years, di ba? I mean, every day lalo na, when I was an IBP officer, we encounter so many lawyers getting killed. We needed help during that time because I think magpas kami ng 80 napatay na lawyers during that time, di ba? So masakit sa loob talaga namin yung nangyayari noon. Now, to your point, saan tayo dudoong? Well, it really creates the impetus for us to learn to choose better leaders. Kasi ang gap na nangyari sa atin over the past 6 years, yung presidente mo ang hindi sumusunod sa batas, siya din nag-a-appoint ng mga mag-i-implement ng batas. So I think doon tayo nagkaroon ng vulnerability in terms of our own institutions.
Attorney, you also have quite a bit of experience dealing with the Supreme Court, and I've been asking this question for a few days, which is yung voting na 951 on the motion by Senator De La Rosa. I wonder if you could give us insight into how that could have played out internally, anong klaseng mga debates they had, and is there an internal doctrine that guides the Supreme Court when it comes to TRO decisions? What was missing in this case?
Specifically, attorney, ano yung main essence ng argument nung 5 at nung 9? Kahit wag na yung
Okay.
isa.
I'm not privy kung ano nangyari sa Supreme Court conference. But to your point, Reg, there is a document called the Internal Rules of Procedure of the Supreme Court. Okay, hindi siya masyadong inaaral ng normal na abogado kasi it's really focused on how the Supreme Court runs its docket inside. So, to me, having gone through that and actually worked in the institution, 951 decision tells me a divided court. Kino-compare ko siya doon sa mga decision recently na lumabas like the Sara petitions on her impeachment. Medyo hindi kasing solid yung boto. 12 of our current Supreme Court members were appointed by President Duterte. 2 were by President Aquino and then 1 by President Marcos, BBM. So if you go by the usual count, then dapat siguro 12-1 ang boto. Yet we have 951, which is very telling to me that this is a very divided court. How divided? Since this is just about the TRO, perhaps it's possible that some members felt that the petitioner had not created a very good argument in terms of whether it is justifiable for the Supreme Court to intervene and give him a TRO. Hindi pa kasi yung main point yung main petition. Pero ang tanong kasi right now, dapat ba makialam na kami? ang sabi ng Supreme Court, mukhang hindi naman kailangan. We can still hear the entire case first and maybe just decide later on. Yun ang message ng 951.
But I'm sure the Supreme Court is also conscious of the fact that in denying or dismissing the TRO petition, government can move in and take Mr. Bato out of the country, by which time everything else, including the main
Will be
case, will
moot.
be moot.
Moot and academic.
Yes. The Supreme Court is not a herd. I mean, they have text messages, they have access to social media, and of course, they're very intelligent people. But then again, let's go back to the context. Ang humingi ng interim relief, as powerful as a TRO, against the executive branch enforcing an arrest warrant is asking for extraordinary interference in the executive. So ang wini-weigh dyan ng korte is this one of instances that we interfere. So ngayon, kung sa kanilang estimation, this is not one of those instances that we should swoop in and then interfere with the function of the executive.
Actually, attorney, yung case na yan was the original petition filed 14 months ago.
Yeah.
It took the Supreme Court 14 months to decide on the part lang sa TRO na against the arrest, ano?
Yeah. Hindi
Di
ba
ba significant din yon na the Supreme Court was actually giving the executive a lot of leeway to act based on its own discretion, hindi ba?
Yes, Ma'am Amy. Actually, nung fact na nag-issue pa nga ng 72 hours to comment to the Solgen, ang immediate comment ko doon, that's practically a signal to the executive. You have 72
Do what
hours
you want, di ba?
to arrest this guy.
Correct.
Parang ganun ang ibig
Di ba?
sabihin doon.
Do what
Kasi
you
walang
want
legal
yun
impediment eh.
Correct. Oo.
Oh.
Pero
Tama
anong
yun,
tingin niyo, attorney?
Nakakapatay
Bakit
sinabi ni
nag-hesitate
President
yung
Marcos,
executive?
wag mo, hintayin niyo muna yung ano.
Ay, hindi lang po kayo nagtataka, kaming mga abogado din. I mean, there are lawyers who are advocating for the petitioner and that's their job.
Yeah.
Okay. For me kasi, it's really about, simple lang, ano ba nakalagay sa batas. So, on my end, nagtataka din ako. Kasi parang sinabi ng Supreme Court, okay, humingi ka ng
Walang TRO.
I'm gonna give you one.
Yeah.
So, ano hinihintay natin? Parang ganun ang...
The defense
Teka.
the defense team of Senator De La Rosa, led by attorney Israel Torion, has issued a statement saying they will file an MR, a motion for reconsideration. What are the chances that based on an MR that they could change this decision? And secondly, what other legal remedies are available to them? Because I know that the strategy is to keep filing cases at the Supreme Court. They think that's their last resort. But what other legal remedies are available?
Right. So, that's their job. Okay? So, if you have a client, you file whatever pleading you need to. But, you're looking at a 951 decision. So, ilang boto ba pipitisin mo para ma-reverse yung majority na yan? 9 versus 5. Kasi yung isa abstention. So, hindi mo naman pwedeng asahan bumaliktad pa yan on your MR. Medyo substantial yung hinihingi nila na bumaliktad na boto sa Supreme Court. 9 versus 5. What other legal remedies? The MR is it. So they have to follow that route, and I don't blame them because they really have to exhaust all the remedies. But the fact remains, there is a warrant. There's no legal impediment. So as it stands, the only thing that's really stopping the law from being complied with is political will.
We said that yesterday.
Kaya nga.
We said that on the show.
Hindi makita si Bato. Hindi na
Well,
nakita.
in
Nakawala
this
na.
day and age,
Nakawala na. Si Saldi ko nga, hindi natin makuha.
okay. Sir Ronald kung nasaan. I mean, in this day and age,
Prof, I'm sure everybody's trying to, look for indicators, Supreme Court, on how it would eventually rule on some main case, on whether the Philippine government can still cooperate with the ICC in enforcing a warrant of arrest against Senator Bato, and so on down the line. Okay. Yung decision sa dismissal ng TRO, could that be used as an indicator of any sort, or no, that's too premature?
well, what's interesting about this TRO is that how both sides, the petitioner and the Solgen, actually placed the main substantive arguments in front already. Yung iba kasing litigation, ang nangyari, kung pwede lang bang gibayin for now yung bahay ng bulldozer, Tapos yun lang tutok, regardless kung sino may-ari ng lupa. Dito, pinasok nila, both sides, pinasok na rin yung substantive arguments nila sa discussions regarding the TRO. So because of what was submitted to the court and decided 951, if I were on the side of the senator, who is now a fugitive, I have a lot of work to do.
You have a lot of worrying to do?
Work.
Work to
Attorney,
do.
And worrying, I
Work
suppose.
to do.
Work
Yes.
to do.
There's a lot of work to do. Kasi,
Attorney, pwede bang halimbawa, di naaresto na si Senator moot na yung pwede bang hindi na lang aksyonan ng Supreme Court yung main issue, yung
Yeah.
about the kasi sabihin niya, ano pa magagawa natin dyan, di ba? Because they've done that sa halimbawa in the case of ERA planning for president again. Di na sila nag-rule doon kasi sabi nila moot, di ba? Pwede
They
bang
did it
gawin
for
nila
ERA?
yung case? Oo, nandun na sa wala namang, hindi naman ibabalikan ng ICC sa atin kung saan sakali.
that's true because they did that for Erap twice when he ran for president and when he ran for mayor.
Yeah.
They could have decided those cases but na-overtake ng events.
Oh.
And in a supreme irony, they did that in Pangilinan versus Cayetano. In essence, they declared it moot when we drew from
Yeah.
the ICC kasi yun nga, moot na lang. Supreme irony kung maging moot din to because now it's bato, right?
Yeah.
So,
When you say both sides put the main argument front and center, you're talking about international law versus local law. So the
Yeah.
Solgen argued that international law forms part of the law of the land. The other side argued na they no longer have jurisdiction. I mean, as an observer, do you think is Senator De La Rosa getting the correct legal advice here? Because the other side of it as well is when you think about what happened over the past weeks or so, in a way, his actions have weakened the case of Duterte at The Hague. Because remember, one of the reasons that the ICC pretrial chamber denied his interim release was it said that they still have a network of people here who are willing to help them evade accountability.
And who are very powerful.
no. Well, you know, I have to decline to comment on the legal strategy of a fellow lawyer. However, I could still answer the question with respect to the political bias. Because what I really cannot understand here is how much Bato was allowed, the senator was allowed, to undermine his own case and his own standing as compared to 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
by his own allies.
Yeah.
Right? So he filed a petition, he asked for a TRO from the Supreme Court, and while that was ongoing, they gave him protective custody. What did that do? That removed the urgency, that removed the clear legal right for the guy. Kasi protective custody nyo na So sasabihin ng korte, kung ganyan naman pala, wala naman palang danger sa kanyang liberty kasi kinukup
Yeah.
na.
There's no
He was allowed to leave the
extraordinary-
Senate. What's the effect on that? There's no more injury or feared injury. There's no more deprivation possible. Diba? And then finally, when he was allowed to escape, fugitive disentitlement doctrine na mag-a-apply. I mean, if I were the senator or even his relatives, mainis ako kasi parang we were better off 2 weeks ago than we are today.
He would have had
Yeah.
maybe greater chances to get that TRO.
Yeah, but the series of events that were allowed, they just made it more difficult for any court.
Yeah.
Because they even allowed him to be interviewed several times.
Yes.
And those interviews were broadcast. And several of those statements prejudices his own case. You cannot say on live TV that sino namang tanga ang magpapahuli. Tapos may petition ka to nullify a warrant or to stop a warrant against you. I mean, that's very unfortunate.
Attorney, nung December 2020, sa isang obiter, naglabas yung Supreme Court ng opinion na dun sa Pangilinan versus Cayetano issue, may jurisdiction ang ICC sa Pilipinas doon sa kaso na na-file bago tayo umalis. And as a treaty, it has the power of a local law. Hindi lang siya international law. So, wala na bang kwenta yan dito sa mga usapan ngayon? Siya yung obiter lang? Wala, hindi ba siya pinagkasama rito as a term of reference? Bakit paulit-ulit pa rin sinasabi ng Senate President na walang jurisdiction? No?
Well, again, medyo malinaw naman yung batas and may tatlong nag-a-apply dito. First of all, the Constitution under Article 2, Section 2 makes all generally accepted principles of international law or jus cogens or customary international law part of the law of the land. So by virtue of the Constitution, kasama pa rin yung mga customary international law. Then we have 9851, right? So that also applies. And then customary international law itself will apply. I understand the Senate President in what he's trying to do, but that does not change the status of the law. Malino na.
And then, Attorney, can you also comment on what Attorney Bondoc said na pwede naman daw abogado ang tumanggap ng arrest warrant on behalf of their client? Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Was quick.
Walk us through how it works.
Well, the answer is clear. That's not true. That's why, but okay. A lot of the confusion right now arises not because lawyers are inconsistent, but rather there should be a difference between what the law actually says and when a lawyer is now advocating or sharing pure opinion on what the law should mean. So when you ask me, under the law, are lawyers allowed to just accept the warrant and not, pwedeng circumvent yung warrant na lawyer lang haharap? That's not true. Hindi.
Siyempre, inaaresto mo yung tao.
But-
Ano ba naman yan?
So what does the law
it's
say
not
about
a demand
that?
letter. It's not a demand letter na tatanggapin ko,
You're arresting the
pag-iisipan na.
person.
Is that
Our warrant is directed to a law enforcer to detain a person and bring before a court.
To get the person, yung
So,
warrant.
Yes.
so
Attorney,
hindi rin kailangan ipakita muna sa abogado ni Senator De La Rosa yung warrant. There's no
Hindi.
requirement.
Yung arrest
no.
rin.
Again, no. I mean, let's. There are baselines in law. There are baselines in law. There's the rules of court. Okay, malinaw yan. Actually, tinturo yan para pumasa ng bar. So, medyo importante na yung baselines. Solid tayo.
Baka-
A police officer doesn't even need to bring the physical
Yeah.
copy of the original
Yeah.
warrant when making the arrest.
That's Section
Right?
7
So,
of Rule 113.
may baseline kami. Hindi naman lahat pwedeng
Yeah.
i-inventohin namin just
Well,
may
baka
under the
pwede
rules of
naman,
legal
If
ethics,
not,
we have to
teka lang,
adhere to what the law actually says.
if not physical warrant, then what are they allowed to bring during the
The actual original na may original ink sign,
can
but
be a
they can bring
photocopy?
copy.
Oh, okay, got it.
They just have to be able to present
certified,
the
Yeah.
warrant after
Yeah.
the arrest is made.
Baka pwede naman, attorney, na i-receive nung lawyer, lalo na kung yung lawyer kasama sa warrant.
Well, yeah. He's receiving it for
Hindi
himself.
yan. Warrant yung arrest ng
Talaga.
lawyer yun.
But
There's no substitution. In other words.
So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when our colleague Ces Drilon went viral for that interview. But also after that, the other side also said na bakit pag si Sonny Trillanes sumama sa pag-arrest, pwede. Bakit pag sila hindi?
Well, the answer to that is simple. Two wrongs do not make a right. And second, what Senator Trillanes doing there? I don't think he was serving a warrant. He was there upon invitation of Senator De La Rosa to go there to accompany the people serving the warrant.
Yeah.
And he just had a copy of the
Wala siyang legal function
Yes.
whatsoever.
Wala siya dito.
Wala.
Wala.
I mean, pag ako sinabihan ako ni Reg na pumunta diyan, pumunta. Tapos gusto ko pumunta din ako diyan. Doesn't change the character.
Hindi ba
of the
pwede,
warrant
attorney,
itself.
ang citizen's arrest?
Oh yes. Why not?
Hindi, kasi
Halimbawa, habang
sinabi
may
ni Senator
ginagawang
Trillanes,
continuing
kasi
crime sa
sinabi daw ni
Edlingao,
Senator Bato,
no? Pwede ko ba siyang
magkaroon
hulihin
ng
kahit
arrest, sumama
enforcer?
siya sa pag-aresto.
Yeah. So
Kaya siya sumama.
all of this, the tragedy here is all that we've been talking about, especially the circumstances that made Senator De La Rosa worse off than he was 2 weeks ago. It was all cited in the Solicitor General's comment. You
Yeah.
can check it.
Yeah, we read
Isa-isa.
part of it.
Yes.
In fact, they used it, pati yung mga interviews niya, pati yung mga nangyari, nawalan ng urgency kasi binigyan yun ng protective custody. That's what I mean. Linagay tuloy ng Sol dyan sa comment. And they made a very good argument in their comment because they actually used what was supplied by the other side.
Yeah. Why I was asking earlier, well, at least in my mind, I was curious whether he was getting the right legal advice. Because yun nga, seems to have only weakened his case, not just Duterte's case, but also...
Well, his lawyer is...
So imply mo ba na dapat palitan nyo kanya?
Hindi. I'm just saying na parang...
his lawyer is Attorney Bundok.
For example, all those months and years of saying we will comply with the law, we will submit ourselves, I'm not scared of the ICC, bring it, and all of that, and then, to suddenly turn around and say something else and change your position. And
I agree.
And I wonder as well if he had willingly submitted himself to the judicial process, whether that would have strengthened his case for interim release, for example.
Yes, because all of this will also apply when the proceedings, when he's brought to the ICC, the ICC will also take note of what happened.
In the lead up to his
Yes.
possible arrest and rendition.
Yes. So that's gonna affect his own petition for interim relief before that court.
Flight risk na siya nun eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Dalawang
Automatic
beses na siya
flight risk.
nagtago eh.
Yeah, exactly.
Just unfortunate because whose purpose? I don't think it was his.
Yung Amy asked us earlier, which is that, she mentioned earlier that yung recent Supreme Court decision was actually responding to the March 2025 petition. Does that supersede the recent TRO petition that they filed last week? Yun na sagot. Or they,
Yun
yun na sagot. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same GR number, so it's within the same docket. So.
Yeah. How many times can you file an MR for a TRO petition? For an extremely urgent TRO petition?
Once, the rule is once, and there's only one
one
lawyer
lang.
who filed multiple MRs that didn't get sanction, and it's gone. It's Estelito.
I was gonna say that Estelito
Oo,
Mendoza.
pinapagalitan kami pag multiple MR. Si Estelito lang dati yung mag-file ng more than once, pero
At
ngayon
na-overturn
bawal
niya.
talaga. One MR.
Pero nag-work ba yung
Bawal lang.
multiple MRs? That's the question.
Si
I'm
Estelito
sorry.
Mendoza?
Nag-work ba yung multiple MRs? Yung
Hindi.
Parang
hindi.
hindi din.
Hindi rin. So, hindi rin bumaliktad yung decision.
Set to all.
Pero I remember, although baka hindi na MR, yung kay Estelito Mendoza, yung PAL decision was a reverse.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. It was
reverse,
reversed.
ah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was an MR or another...
That was not even an
Filing.
MR, that was a letter. Naging
Okay.
part yan
Was
ng
a-
mga articles against of impeachment ni former Chief Justice Corona.
Kasi we're talking about the timelines and the possibility na maging moot and academic yung case ni Bato if he's arrested and brought to the Hague before
Yeah.
the main case is decided on or promulgated. But it just occurred to me kasi there may be other senators who may be up for arrest in future. So hindi pa siya magiging moot at least in the case of Bato.
Yes, they might actually still decide. This is all discretionary in the Supreme Court.
Apo.
What he's describing is the case of David versus Arroyo, wherein the Supreme Court created the doctrine or re-emphasized the doctrine of capable of repetition yet evading judicial review. What does that mean? If you see a situation where you think, even if it's moot today, where you think that it will be repeated over and over again, you might want to decide it anyway,
Yeah.
even if it's moot today. David v. Arroyo.
Kahit walang actionable pa.
Yeah, it's really more of a parang kasi during that time,
Discretion.
yung kay David v. Arroyo, si GMA issuing presidential proclamations and bago makapag-decide yung Supreme Court, winimidro niya. So in a way, parang medyo nainis na yung Supreme Court.
Pwedeng
Okay,
ulitin.
tutuloy pa rin namin yung decision para di mo na ulitin.
Oo.
Pero di ba, attorney, kahit wala pa naman talagang decision dun sa main case, may kaunti ka ng indicative precedent dahil dun sa pagkahuli ni Digong. Di ba? Nung last year. Tapos itong TRO na bahagi nung case ay sinagot na nila. So, parang wala namang legal impediment.
Or
Di ba? Kahit wala yung main case, it becomes practically
or maybe
Let me clarify, there has never been any legal impediment at all
Yes.
because RA 9851 has been there even before we signed the Rome Treaty.
yes.
So
Yeah.
it was signed by the very same senators who now seem to be surprised that it's being applied. There was never any legal impediment. Ang importante, ang duty ng mga abogado kasi ng senator was to create one. But so far, they have not been able to secure one. But the status quo is that there is no legal impediment to RA 9851.
Saan?
There's a political, but not a legal.
Yeah. So, saan nanggaling itong legal defense that you need Philippine local courts warrant of arrest in order to implement an international criminal court warrant of arrest?
Siyempre, mga lawyers.
Is there any basis for that?
I don't understand the argument. It's just that because I really don't understand what they mean that you need a domestic court for it. When you read 9851, malinaw ang choices ng Pilipinas. You have to choose whether you will surrender the person who is subject of the international warrant or you will instigate your own
I guess,
proceedings.
yeah, what they keep pointing to, what the defense keeps pointing to is the Bill of Rights. So in the Constitution, all of our bills of rights are protected, and I guess that says as well that you can't be arrested at a court, a domestic court issues your warrant, right? So I guess pinagsama yung pinagbangga yung
Well,
dalawang.
They have to be consistent. They have to either say that the statute applies or it doesn't. They have to be able to say that para to a third party listening. They have to be consistent in saying that okay, we are arguing using the Bill of Rights and not 51. So far kasi I'm getting confused kung ano yung talagang statutory or constitutional basis ng kanilang argument. They have to be consistent with that. Lalo na kung mag-oral argument yung kaso na to. Igigrill ka talaga ng justices doon.
Pero di ba,
Tsaka
attorney,
nireject
kung
na ng
ikaw ay
Supreme
abogado,
Court,
kahit walang
But sa
chance
Philippines,
Malay mo
Supreme
yung sa
Court.
main, baka mag-oral sila, di ba? And that would be
Nireject na Supreme Court eh. Na
Pero di
yung
ba, attorney-
TRO mo for an arrest warrant, TRO on your arrest warrant, korte na yung nagsabi niya, that's the highest court of the land.
You know, Amy has a very good point there and I just realized it. Tama po yung argument
Diba?
niyo.
Which
yes.
Di ba?
Baka
That's
nanonood
about
yung
the arrest
soldier,
warrant.
mamaya ilagay pa niya yan. Tama.
Wait, sabi mo, Ami?
Maganda yung
Na,
argument ni
it's the
Amy yan.
Supreme Court. You want an arrest warrant from a local court. It was your petition for a TRO on arrest warrant was rejected by the highest court of the land.
Oh.
Eh di
In
local
essence,
court
it
yun.
undercuts. Yeah, tama po kayo. Kasi that's a very strong point with respect to the due process argument. You already had so much due process because out of the
Yeah.
100 million
Supreme
Filipinos,
Court na yan eh.
Supreme Court pa ang pumansin sa'yo.
Yeah.
Ayun. Eh kaso nga, sabi nila, hindi pwede.
Ang tawag dyan, entitlement. Pero attorney, di ba trabaho naman ng mga abogado, kahit alam nilang talo yung kaso, no? Huhugot sila ng kung ano-anong mga legal eclay
Learned ka masyado, ah.
para lahat naman kinakailangan maghanap buhay kahit naman mga abogado eh. Di ba, attorney? So,
Hindi,
sabihin nila sa
That
kliyente,
a little bit.
sabihin nila sa
Okay, I have
kliyente,
to
oh,
push
may
back
chance
on
to.
that a little
May
bit
chance to.
because the
Di ba?
revised Code of Professional Responsibility was updated a few years ago by the Supreme Court under Chief Justice and Justice Singh. And meron na doong new requirement that we have to do it within certain bounds. And in fact, the signature of a lawyer in a pleading now comes, and the Chief Justice went on so many lectures about this. A signature on a pleading now comes with a guarantee by that lawyer that your arguments are well thought of, you yourself believe they're meritorious, everything else. So, may konting limitation na yan ngayon. So, hindi naman pwedeng, kaya nga ako, medyo, let's stick to what the laws really says kasi may regulation na yung Supreme Court about that.
Pero ano na bang naparusahan, attorney? Na-disbar,
May mga
na-suspend,
may mga
batay dyan?
pending, I think, ngayon, but hindi pa naman napaparusahan ng sobra.
But
Yung-
attorney,
yung-
don't all
Although
lawyers say that?
finality,
That
may
all my
mga
arguments
pending
are
about it.
meritorious and I believe in them.
Talaga very
Pwede
jaded.
ba itago ng abogado yung kliyente?
Dapat
Kung
hindi.
wanted yung kliyente.
Dapat hindi. Because we are still officers of the court.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
officers of the court. We are not guns for hire.
But-
right? There is a
Oh.
code of ethics for lawyers. We are officers of the court. That's why the Supreme Court is cracking the whip on several lawyers already.
But coming back to how we started the conversation, because you wrote an article saying that the senators who helped Bato escape may themselves have to face accountability. Anong mga kaso doon that you can see? What could they be liable for?
Well, the ombudsman has already made several pronouncements
Yeah.
about those liabilities include obstruction for one, right? And certain PDs na I don't want to preempt the ombudsman's investigation anymore because that's their discretion. But certain presidential decrees could apply. But in general, kasi the point here is that when you have a warrant, you do not have the option to comply. You have to comply, and especially if you are a lawmaker. Kasi lawmakers should be the first to comply with the laws that they made.
Yeah.
So, ganun lang yung punto de vista na ina-advocate ko na parang nanunood ang taong bayan. Hindi pwedeng pagdating sa senador, iba na yung system of laws na apply. Because if you think about it, let's think about it for a while. If hindi senador ito, would we even be having this interview or the Supreme Court involved? Di ba? Parang yun ang nakikita ng taong bayan eh. Bakit parang may special set of rules? Dapat wala. Especially if senator or powerful, dapat mas lalo mag-apply yung batas. I can't say yung ordinary law kasi wala naman talagang ordinary and special eh. Batas lang. Ganun.
Or a former PNP chief.
Yes, who was in charge of Oplan Tokhang and the
Tokhang.
memorandum, double barrel.
Attorney, brass tacks, ano yung pwede ikaso dito sa mga nagbigay ng dito? Tawag doon?
Sucker.
Ng protective
Protective
custody,
custody.
no? Nagpasok sa isang fugitive sa loob ng Senado, tumulong, tumakas yung fugitive na yan, no? Nag-create ng senaryo para makatakas, etc., etc., obstruction of justice. Ano mga parusa at saka penalties ang pwedeng ibigay sa kanila?
Medyo mabigat ang penalties kasi it could be, pinakamaiksi na naiisip ko is 1 year but can go as high as 6 up to 12 depende
6
sa mga
years.
aggravating circumstances. Of course, all of this is, we call a sliding scale of penalties kasi ito eh. But the range is huge because precisely there are multiple provisions of law involved here. And kaya nga sabi ko dapat bago nila ginawa yun, dapat medyo nabigyan ng medyo clear na. Ito yung risks natin dyan. Especially since we're doing this under the cameras. We're not doing it behind closed doors. So, legal liability is mataas. Taas.
Gusto lang naman kasi yung leadership change sa Senado.
Was it worth it though?
Yun yung priority eh. And they
That's
got the object.
that's $1 million question, attorney. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it though? The damage to the
For how long?
institution, the damage to the
And
rule
for
of
how
law.
long? And for how long
Now
will...
the damage to Senator Bato himself was worth it.
Yeah.
Sir, the damage to the institution is more... I mean,
They're that concerned?
we hark back to, ikaw matanda mo na, some of us hark back to a time when you had the Salongas and all that, and Rocos,
Tanyadas.
and the Tañadas, and
Pepe Jokno, di ba?
Nagre-reference sila earlier in the show about the Senate of years past and how different it is from the Senate now.
And
Si Annie
now
and si
how do
Ed.
people look at the institution of the Senate now?
It's like a mafia organization now.
Yeah, well, I have to agree based on what you're seeing online, and then we have some political analysts coming in that based on their latest studies, tumataas pa yung House of Representatives sa Senate. Like I mentioned before,
After the
I
flood
worked in
control
the
scandal.
Senate senators years ago, decades ago. And that was the time of the Elder Angara. And yeah, inabutan ko din yung mga binanggit yung senator. So, but, malaki nga yung sakit na makita na ganun ng reaction ng publiko today. There's still a path back, right? That's why it's very important for the institution to recalibrate. Recalibrate nyo. Hindi naman kailangan lahat tayo tumalon sa bangin na yan eh. We swore an oath to protect this institution. The institution has to be greater than any one of us.
Yeah.
Pero what should we do, attorney? Dahil
Natanong ko na yun.
you have 4 senators involved or may cases ng plunder. You have 2 senators na merong kaso ng crimes against humanity. You have 3 or 4 senators na may mga problema sa kanilang pamilya na may kaso, na may kaso. So, how do you how do you save the institution with such a majority of senators na tainted at may malinaw na skeletons in their closets?
Well, that's why it's, to me, as a voter, as a person, and as a father, that's why it's very important that we go back to what the law actually says, enforce accountability, and let the dice fall where it may. Because it is what it is. Kung implicated ka sa lahat ng mga sinabi ninyo, then it is what it is. Then, from the pieces of what will be left, then we will have to rise again. Kasi nandyan na yan eh.
That is
So we just have to implement the law fairly, even among senators, and then from the ashes, rise again. Kasi nandiyan na yan. We just have to push for accountability even more.
that is very profound. But
Glass half full.
Ano kaya,
well, glass half full.
Glass half full.
ano kaya nangyari doon sa Blue Ribbon Report ni Lacson?
Wala na. But
Hindi, binigay na yun kay, binigay na yun sa ombudsman.
Yeah.
It has been received by the ombudsman and it's being used by the ombudsman to develop cases. Ang tanong ngayon, ano mangyayari sa Blue Ribbon under Senator Pia
yeah.
Cayetano? Dati na niyang hinandle yan. Although, parang wala akong matandaan na maiksi lang yata kasi yung pag-upo niya.
Pinabol pa eh.
Wala rin ako matandaan, Ami.
kayo talaga, but last question, we have to wrap up.
Maiksi lang yun eh.
Attorney Molo, De La Rosa, fugitive or not? Kasi kahapon, I know the DOJ, I know the DOJ says he's a fugitive, but yesterday we spoke to Justice, former Associate Justice Azcuna, and he says hindi pa, not yet. He's not a fugitive.
He's wanted but
Bakit daw?
not a fugitive daw.
I'm interested. Why would he say he's hindi pa? Ano pa hinihintay niya? I mean,
Dahil
he's a
sinabi ni
fugitive.
Justice Carpio.
So
Because
again, there
he is
are
a fugitive.
baselines in law, right? Him being a fugitive is not subject to my legal opinion. It's actually one of those facts determined by the law. Is
Yeah.
there a warrant?
I forgot
Is
this.
he subject to an...
Hindi, sabi niya, hanggat hindi pa daw nasa-settle ng Supreme Court yung issue
Main issue.
The main
on
issue.
ICC jurisdiction.
No, we'll have to, with all due respect to justice, that does not determine the status of a person whether or not he's a fugitive.
Yes, kinontra rin attorney ni Justice Carpio. Yung
Yeah.
position ni...
Yung pagiging fugitive
Justice
ng tao is based on facts, not on my personal opinion.
Legal opinions.
Right?
Okay. And on that note, we'll leave the conversation there. I'm sorry we took up more of your time than we had told
No
you, but
problem.
that was an interesting conversation. Thanks so much for joining us
Thank
today,
you, sir.
Storycon, Attorney John Molo, P. Law, Senior Professor of Constitutional Law.
Salamat, attorney.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you,
Professor.
Attorney.
Salamat.